Good evening. This is CTV News for June 7th. I'm Patricia Valone. Thank you for joining us. A 24-year-old man is dead after speeding and losing control of his vehicle in Capitol Heights this morning. This is the scene on Old Central Avenue where a black sedan flipped over. According to police, an officer was conducting traffic enforcement on Central Avenue just before the incident. He reportedly pursued the driver after spotting him going 58 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. Officials say the speeding driver made a right turn on Old Central Avenue, but failed to stop at a stop sign.
That car goes up the hill, you lose complete sight. You don't know what's coming at you. And what was coming at that car was a Metro bus. So that driver then tries to overcorrects, not sure that's going to be the job of collision investigators. And then you see where it travels again across, hits a fire hydrant. The car goes airborne. The driver, who obviously will be part of the investigation as to whether or not they were wearing a seatbelt, the driver inside that vehicle is ejected from the vehicle while they're both airborne.
And Donnellan says the victim landed on the ground next to his vehicle. He was pronounced dead at a local hospital. Police have not yet released his name. It's been nearly 1 year since a promising basketball player was fatally shot in Seat Pleasant. Lamont Adair was on his way to play ball when he was killed in the 6600 block of Gregg Street. He was the father of a now 2-year-old. Today, his family is seeking justice as one of the suspects has reportedly been offered a 2 to 4 year plea deal.
My son will never hold his child again. I will not hold my son again. And I think it's unfair that he gets slapped on the hand when he done had I don't know how many chances. How many more do it take? How many more Lamont Adairs have to be buried before justice is served?
We're here because of that. We're here because we will not let his death be in vain. We will not allow them to just brush it under the rug.
2 men, Olajuwon Jackson and Franklin Scott, were charged in Adair's murder. His family is asking to meet with State's Attorney Aisha Bravoy about the case. Well, the Bi-County Park and Planning Commission rejects Governor Hogan's plan to widen Interstate 270 in the Capitol Beltway. The agency, which is in charge of planning and parkland in Prince George's and Montgomery counties, voted the state's alternative plan down 9-1. By rejecting the 7 designs, commission members conclude that the Maryland Department of Transportation didn't offer enough options or provide supporting information. The vote could set up a possible showdown before the Federal Highway Administration. Meantime, the Prince George's County Council has some concerns of its own on this issue. All of this comes just days after the Board of Public Works voted on the amended version of the governor's proposal, deciding in a 2-1 vote to begin the I-270 expansion first and continue talks regarding the Beltway portion. Now, Chairman Todd Turner is joining us now to discuss the proposed expansion of the 2 highways. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
If you can sum it up, what is Prince George's position on all of this?
So the County Council actually adopted a resolution last month asking for 3 things for the Board of Public Works to do. One was to make sure that the plan was financially feasible as part of a public-private partnership. Second, that all the environmental impact statements be completed before we move forward with any actual construction. And third, the most important one, was actually consult with the local jurisdictions in Prince George's and Montgomery as well as Frederick to come up with what the resolution should be as opposed to being dictated to us what that should be.
So at this point, you obviously feel that that has not happened, that third part of it.
Correct. So earlier this week on Monday, we had a joint press conference between Montgomery, Prince George's County, Frederick County, representatives both from the county and the state, in essence to ask the Board of Public Works to hold off on making their decision. Obviously, since that time, the Board of Public Works has decided to move forward, however, with an amended plan which addresses some of the issues that we raised as part of that, as well as some alternatives that the Maryland Department of Transportation should consider, which are not part of the alternatives that are being considered now. And so it sounds like, based on that information, the Park and Planning Commission has come out against what their alternatives are right now.
Which is what we just talked about in the previous story. But given that Prince George's has worked with these P3 type relationships before, these private public partnerships, right. Is that what the main issue is here, or is it more the environmental impact?
I could say from the Prince George's County Council perspective, we've had successful models of P3s going on. We do that in stormwater management. Obviously, we have one right now with the construction of the Purple Line in a transportation context, and we've just got authorization from the state to try to move forward with the P3 for school construction. So Prince George's County is not foreign to that concept. We're supportive of it. As part of that, the issue here is making sure that we as local government who have the feel of our residents, I know there's public polling out there saying that majority of Prince George's County residents do not support toll lanes because they don't think they're going to improve the opportunities for them, or they're not going to be able to participate because the tolls are going to be high. And so that's why we focused in Prince George's County, particularly on transit-oriented development. We don't want our residents to be going outside the county. We want them to stay in the county and bring businesses into the county. And so that's kind of the conversation that's going on, at least locally in Prince George's County.
So the governor's amendment, what the Board of Public Works voted for, puts Prince George's at the last part of this. That Beltway portion would be done last and with more input. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, in essence, if you looked at, they kind of split the baby a little bit as part of that. Obviously, they've also, we appreciate the work that Comptroller Franchot did because he was the swing vote. And so when he came forward with those amendments, the governor acceded to those. They include making sure that mass transit can ride free in the future if there are toll lanes as part of that process. There's also a percentage of the funds that go to the private concessionaire go to public transit, both in Montgomery and Prince George's County. Those are positive things. The fact that we now have more time to review and consider and make sure the environmental impact statements are completed for the Prince George's portion, I think that's a benefit as well. All
right, we're out of time. Just quickly, the monorail proposal up in Frederick to the metro station, and you think it's a good idea?
Unknown at this point. I know it just came out as part of that, but it is an opportunity that should be part of the conversation along with the other alternatives that they took away as part of this process.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.